Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Step Chat here at the Floatress of Solitude, with a somewhat floating bag in the shot. There we go. How you doing? For those of you that have not had the pleasure yet of meeting, my name is Stephen Jones. I am the executive director of Float and of Aloft, and I don't know why it seems like I'm looking at this weird thing, but there we go. So hi, good to see you all. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for joining me once again on a Sunday. And if you're watching on replay, either on Facebook or on YouTube, welcome and thank you very much for taking the time to join us here at as we explore the floativerse, so to speak. So there we go. Miss Stephanie, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Good to see you. I'm going to apologize in advance. Even though I feel tremendously healthier than I was out here last time, I am absolutely, without question, just as worn out. I want to be very clear. I am very thankful that we have been as busy as we have been. It's one of those things. I say it all the time. I'd rather be tired than broke. But I'm going to tell you right now, there are absolutely days when I wish I could still be able to get some sleep. Hello, Murphy. Good to see you. So yeah, it's been rough. I worked last night until almost midnight, and then I was back up at 4. And thankfully, this week, fingers crossed, looks slower, which you would never ever hear me say in October. But I'm really. Let me give you an idea. I mean, So again, hi, Nicole. Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining me once again. I'm so excited that you're coming to Float. Terry, always a pleasure to have you joining us. Thank you very, 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 very much. So I want to back up a little bit here. I got a message from somebody since the last show, and a concerned viewer thought that I was being insensitive. And of course, my first assumption was, or not assumption, my first reaction was, oh God, what did I say now? Because it is it's not uncommon for me to put my foot in my mouth. And basically it was explained to me very politely that talking about being so busy at work at balloon stuff could potentially be insulting to those individuals who aren't experiencing the same level of success. While I do appreciate that and I understand it, we are, at the end of the day, everybody who's involved with Float is directly connected because of their business. So I see where they're coming from on this, but I don't necessarily agree. I'm not out here telling people, haha, we're busier than you. I'm not doing that. And even then, I'm probably not. I know there's people that are watching me going, you think that's busy? So that's silly. I just know for 2 people doing the job of at least 5 or 6 people, we're tired. And normally A to the L to the EXA likes to work a week ahead. So like if we have a job coming up next Monday, that's what she'll start working on tomorrow. And for the last 2 weeks, it has literally been, crap, this is today. We got to get this done now so we can get it out the door in X amount of hours. And that's how we've been functioning for the last 2.5 weeks. And it's been rough. It's been hard. Tomorrow is the first day that we have jobs going out the door that everything's already prepped and we don't have to blow anything up tomorrow. So very happy about that. Phil Whitehead, our Director of Security. Good to see you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Angela, as always, thank you for being here. Love you. Good to see you. So I'm going to say right up front, given that as busy as we have been, ain't squat got done this week. Really didn't. The only thing that got done was the summary video this week. So, but there have been some things. There's been some updates for you as far as the Floativerse goes. And tonight we are going to take a moment to review some very important dates that are coming up. Because now that we're in October, we are October, November, December, January. We are 4 months out. And pretty damn soon, the infamous 100-day countdown begins. So I thought I would take a moment to make sure that you are all aware and very well aware of some very important dates that are coming your way that you need to know about. Nicole, everyone is on a journey of their own. Yes, that is absolutely true. I agree completely. and I want to be fair. There were times I have made comments like this myself before, like during the lockdowns, the COVID lockdowns. There were some people that were working and were literally rubbing it in everybody else's faces that they were working. And at one point, I even made the comment that I think it's really inappropriate right now with so many people who are legally not allowed to do anything, that it's not fair that you're out there bragging about how successful you are. That fell on very deaf ears, but it is what it is. But we're not talking about the same thing. Everything's equal now. Everyone's equal and even. And so, and again, we are, at the end of the day, we don't talk about float because it's fun. I mean, we do, but my point is that float at the end of the day is about your business. And so I don't feel necessarily too badly about that. And again, it's not very often that you have an $800 job that turns into an almost $20,000 order. So that may be the case for you. It's not that. I mean, again, here, if we have a job that big, we normally have an idea that that job is going to be that big. We don't ever start out with a client asking for one mural and it evolving into that much. So that's what we're talking about. And that's what put us in this whole situation to begin with. And yes, I am pounding coffee because, like I said, I am exhausted and I got to get through the show. So good to see you all once again. Why don't we get to the presentation and we'll see what you guys have for me tonight and we'll take it from there. So allow me to get to where I can share my screen. Yes, I know that Google is accessing my screen. Thank you very much for that. Okay, we'll go here. And then we'll wait to see if everything catches up just nicely here. Okay, looks good so far. Looks good so far. We got it. Here we go. Okay, well, everybody, thank you all very much. And welcome once again to another episode here of Step Chat from the Floatress of Solitude. With that being said, hey, Dina, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. With that being said, let's get on to tonight's presentation. The biggest thing coming your way, as I just talked about a few minutes ago, we are roughly 4 months away from Float 2026. Things are going to start getting very hairy very quickly. There is one thing that well, you know what? We'll talk about that later. I'm not going to talk about it now. Let's keep it moving. The biggest bit of float news that you need to know about, of course, was the fact that October 1st has come and gone. With that being said, the registration rate for float, the U.S. domestic price for academic attendance, has now increased to $7.95. Brianna, one of our fabulous instructors coming to float. Good to see you. So yeah, the price has now increased from $5.95 to $6.95, and now it is $7.95. Now, the good news is this price point is locked in for the next 3 months. So you don't have to worry about it going up again until January 3rd. But I just want to make sure that you are aware that things are going to get hairy pretty quickly. Because again, we have about 4 months left. There is a rumor that there might be a coupon code coming your way soon. So if you haven't already signed up, that's all I'm going to say. But tonight, I want to take a moment, and we're going to come back on this too, but tonight I want to take a moment to let you know about some very, very important dates that are coming up that you need to know about, regardless of whether or not you are registered for Float. Most of you watching this show are registered, but there's a few of you who aren't. So I want to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. First of all, the first big date that you need to know about is December 1st. This is a new change of policy for us here at Float. If you want to be guaranteed the free Float t-shirt and your tote bag at the convention, chock full of stuff. If you want the complimentary tote bag and the t-shirt, in order to be guaranteed one, excuse me, you must be registered by December 1st. We have had we've already got vendors that are like, hey, how many pieces do I need to send you? How the hell do I know yet? But you got to remember, they need time to get things. They need time to be able to order stuff. If they want to get really good stuff for you to put in the tote bag, they got to have some lead in for this. So what's going to happen is we're going to look at everybody who's registered by no later than December 1st, and all of you are guaranteed to get a shirt and to get a tote bag. Okay. So in other words, if you are not registered, if you register for float on December 2nd, are you going to get one? There's a chance, because we're going to order overage, right? We're going to request some overage. Excuse me. But by no means is it a guarantee. So please make absolutely certain that if you want to make sure that you go home with the free t-shirt and the big overstuffed tote bag, you've got to be registered by December 1st. Amanda, good to see you, one of our fabulous bonus class instructors. Thank you for joining us. So again, December 1st, if you want to get the tote bag and the t-shirt, guaranteed. After December 1st, it is a crapshoot as to whether or not you will get it. The next date we got to talk about is December 15th. This is the last chance you have to cancel your registration for float and still get a refund. Okay? This is important because a lot of people are like, when can I do? I don't know if I can go or not. I need to cancel. Wait, if you're not sure if you need to go, or if you're not sure you can't go, then you should wait, because you have all the way until December 15th to make that decision. Because remember, if you cancel now and then it turns out you can come, whatever rate you had before is gone. You will have to re-sign up again at the new rate. So if you're not sure, don't cancel yet. Wait until December 15th, okay? Also remember, it is a refund, but there are penalties. There is a $100 cancellation fee that we assess to you, and then there is a $9 charge from planetreg.com that we don't have any control over. The moment you sign up, it's gone. So that's all that works. So keep that in mind. That has to be addressed before you do this. So in other words, excuse me. So in other words, if you cancel your registration and you said, well, I paid $484, your refund is $375 because it's the $484 minus $109. Okay, so it's that simple. And yes, some people are getting that back, because remember, those are the people that signed up really, really fast, the rapid return rate people. So if you wanted this on December 16th, also keep in mind, I don't need an excuse. You have no reason in the world. You don't have to tell me a thing as to why you can't come to float. All you have to say is, hey, Steve, I can't come. I need to cancel. That's it. And what's really fun, I share this story every time. Up until the cutoff date, that's the emails I get. I have to cancel. Please refund my registration. That's it. After the cutoff date, I get epic novels from people. I get 3-page emails explaining why they can't come and begging and pleading for a refund. And the answer is no. Liliana, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And it was really nice seeing you on King Back with Lisa Mack the other night. There you go. Yeah, it's very funny. So please remember, I don't need an excuse at all. But I can promise you that on December 16th, it doesn't matter what your excuse is. You're too late. At that point, there's no refund. Okay? We do have something for you, but it ain't going to be that. So there's that. So keep that in mind. That is important to know for December 15th. There is another important deadline for December 15th, and this one I misspoke on last week. I was wrong. The last chance to purchase a flotation pass is December 15th. Last week on the show, I was saying like January 3rd or something. I don't know what I was thinking. There's no way to get the notebooks turned around that quickly. There's no way to get your surprise gift and everything turned around that quickly. That can't possibly happen. So, again, if you would like to register for the flotation pass, your last chance to register for that is December 15th. On December 16th, the flotation passes will close. Okay, period. So please make sure you take advantage of that before then. I did get a very interesting question, but we'll talk about this shortly when we get back around to this. I think let me make sure we're talking about it. Yep, we are. Okay. So we'll get to that here shortly. All right. The next date you need to know is January 2nd. This is a big date for a lot of things. Linda Huska, good to see you. Thank you very much. Amanda, got mine? Yes, you did. Good to see you. Excuse me. Okay. Hey, get out of there. Sorry, Murphy's getting a little too inquisitive. So January 2nd is a very big date for several reasons. First of all, January 2nd is the last chance for you to get the international rate to attend float. So if you are living outside the continental United States, that means if you live in Alaska, if you live in Hawaii, if you live in any of the U.S. territories, or for that matter, any other country, you could live in Canada, you could live in Mexico, you could live in Uruguay. I don't care where you reside. If you wish to attend float and sign up at the international rate of $575, your absolute last chance to enroll at this price is January 2nd. On January 3rd, that price jumps to the regular rate, which is $895. And again, tough tacos, that's the date. You've had a year to sign up for float at a price that no one else could sign up for. Okay? You've had a year. 11 months to sign up. Sorry. So that's how that's going to work out. Also, if you are attending float in general, the last date to get the $795 price point is January 2nd. Again, on January 3rd, the price goes up again to $895. That applies to everyone. The other deadline of January 2nd is that this is the last chance for you to sign up for our foundational training. So if you're a newbie and you want to take advantage of the $550 price point for the foundation program, your last chance to sign up for this is January 2nd. Now, remember, LaDonna, I'm going to get to that in a second. Now, remember, this is contingent on whether or not the program sells out. Now, the good news is right now, it doesn't look like it's going to sell out. So it shouldn't be a problem. You should be able to sign up all the way to January 2nd. But if we do, it won't matter what date it is because it'll be sold out. So there's that. So keep that in mind when it comes to the foundation program. So again, last day, January 2nd is the last day for the $795 price point. It's the last day for the international rate, and it's the last day to sign up as a foundational training member. January 5th is the last day that the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino will be accepting discounted room rates. Okay? So in other words, you have until January 5th to book a discounted room at float. If you wait and you're trying to get a room you're stuck with whatever they're going to give you. Okay? And I got nothing to do with it. So you can't call me, Steve, you need to call the hotel. No, I don't. No, I can't. Again, you've had a long time to sign up and get and book these rooms. And these guys are giving us even longer than most places. I had to double. In fact, I've got a phone call into the hotel to confirm this date. This is what's on my contract. But I'm checking with the hotel to make sure because I've never had a hotel let us go all the way to like 2.5 or 3 weeks out before the event. Mostly it's a full month prior. This is like 2 weeks or whatever before we show up. This is phenomenal. So that's the last day for you to be able to book a discounted room. Also, January 5th, if you are hoping to attend float and you want to get the benefits that go along with being an Aloft member, like VIP access to the vendor showcase and reserve seating at the gala and some other stuff, and not break the bank with a flotation pass, then you need to get signed up for a loft by no later than January 5th. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot on Sunday the 25th join a loft at 7 a.m. and then expect to get into the vendor showcase at 9 o'clock. We ain't doing it. You've got to be enrolled there. Did you say they are discounting premium rooms? I didn't say anything along those lines. The premium rooms that are, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm getting distracted right now. Okay. So so in other words, you cannot join a loft on the day of the event and expect the benefits. Not going to happen. The reason for this is simple. You take a screenshot. You join a loft. You take a screenshot. You then text that screenshot to 7 other people. Look, I just joined. Look, I just joined. Look, I just joined. It's all got to be done in advance, people. And don't say it won't happen, because we already know that it will. So there's that. So keep that in mind. So in other words, if you want to take advantage of the benefits of a loft members, and we'll be going over that again in a future episode, but January 5th is the cutoff day. Okay. Now, let's talk about class enrollment. Remember, this year you're signing up for your general classes in advance. If you are a flotation pass holder, Wednesday, January 7th will be the day you are allowed to start enrolling. If you are a loft member, the next day, January 8th, you will be allowed to sign up for your general enrollment classes. And if you are neither a member of a loft nor a flotation pass holder, then general class enrollment will open for you on Float Friday, which is January 9th. Okay. So again, if you are a flotation pass holder, you get 2 full days of head start. If you are a loft member, you get 24 hours head start. And if you're neither one of those, then you have to wait till Friday, January 9th to pick your classes at Float. Okay. This is important to keep in mind. We're not doing the ticket system this year. We're doing everything in advance through the phone app. Okay. So that's all being done. All right. We got 2 more dates that you need to know about. First of all, your last opportunity to pre-enroll at the early rates of master classes and bonus classes is January 12th. Now remember, this is not the flotation pass. We've already talked about that. The last day to enroll in the flotation pass was January 5th. Nope, that was January 2nd. Sorry, my bad. That's January 2nd. Okay. Your last chance to buy a float. Wait, hold on. Where am I at? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm scrambling everything. Your last chance to enroll for a flotation pass was all the way back December 15th. This information here pertains to individual master and bonus classes. Remember, the rates of these classes are lower if you buy them in advance. If you wait till the convention, prices go up. Master classes are $99 each. At the convention, they are $125 a piece. In advance, bonus classes are $25 each. At the convention, they're $35 each. So if you want to save some money, you got to do this in advance. Hello, Elaine. Good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. So that's number 1. Number 2, your absolute last chance to enroll in any way, shape, or form for Float 2026 is Saturday, January 17th. The reason for this is simple. I get on a plane 3 days later. I fly to Reno 3 days after this date. We're done. We're not taking people at the door. We're not taking people, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because almost every single person that ever tries to sign up for Float within 24 to 72 hours of the convention ends up canceling anyway. Because they didn't look into planes, they didn't look into hotels, they didn't look at anything. They just, oh my God, I gotta go. FOMO kicks in. And then I gotta refund them all this. And I'm not, nope. Not doing it. Also, you have to keep in mind, some states require a 72-hour cancellation policy. So we're not gonna deal with that. So there's that. Okay. Um, so yeah. So those right now are the big. Now, obviously, there's going to be more dates that are coming at you soon. For example, once we start talking about competitions, those dates will be coming towards you. The Floaty Awards, those dates will be coming out soon. So there's all kinds of things like that. But this right now, these are the dates that you need to know in the here and now, regardless of whether or not you're attending Float or not. So if you haven't registered yet, I highly recommend that you get at least screenshot some of these or keep them down or write them down, whatever. Make sure you know. Of course, this is going to go out too in future stuff, but I have to address this shortly because I'm having some technical difficulties that I'm going to talk about now. So, flotation passes are on sale. LaDonna, is there a special link to buy the flotation pass I registered last week? Yes, there is. There is just one problem right now. So, on Friday, my phone experienced a massive SIM failure. I have an iPhone. In a very long and convoluted story, I'm also changing companies. I'm going from one service provider to another, thinking that this would be a great time to do it because my phone's dead. Not realizing that there were other complications involved and it's still not done. So right now, my standard phone number, I don't have access to yet. So everybody that knows my old number, I can't get calls at that number. I can't. People can text me, and ironically enough, I'm getting them on both my old phone and my new phone with my new number. But we're getting a second number so that we can have a number just for the shop. So in other words, when I go out of town on vacation, like that happens, but let's say I go home for Thanksgiving, I don't have to answer the phone, balloon design, and deal with people calling about balloon designers. I can give this new phone to A to the L to the XA. Hey, I'm out of town. Have fun. Can you hear this? So it's a long story, and part of the problem right now, and I know this is a very convoluted way to get to this. Part of the problem right now is I tried to log in today to MailChimp, which is our server, so I could get an email started for sponsors, so I could get an email started for everybody, right? But of course, they're asking for two-step authentication, and my phone number doesn't work anymore. I can't get a text. I can't get a random text. The only people that can text me right now at my old number are people in like contacts that I already have in my phone. So MailChimp ain't one of them. So I had to put an email in and say, hey guys, I've got a problem here. How do I do this? And I'm still waiting for someone to get back to me on how to re-log in. So right now I can't even log in to send emails out. So in a very long answer to LaDonna's question, yes, there is a special link. So I can send it to you. If I remember to do it, I can send it to you directly via email one-on-one for right now. But they're normally sent out through our email server that we use. But I can't log in right now because of this stupid situation with my phone. So hopefully we'll have this rectified in a few days. If not, I don't know. But I could at least send you this directly. And yes, because the link itself is not available through the website, because we don't want random people signing up for it, because the mistake that a lot of people make is that they think the flotation pass includes the registration fee. And of course it does not. It is a separate fee after you get registered. And then it's amazing the number of people that get angry and stuff thinking, I just paid all this money and no, you bought the added value bulk rate pass is what you bought. So there's that. Okay. So that's the situation going on there. Amanda made a comment earlier, worth every penny. Yes, I firmly agree. I think the flotation pass in the end saves you about $400 and something off of added value options at Float. It's that simple. Now it's not cheap, it's not inexpensive, but it is, I think a great deal in all sincerity. So there's that. I do want to remind everybody once again that we are still looking for suggestions for this year's Fulcrum panel discussions at Float. For those of you that are unaware, Fulcrum is a separate event that we have alternating in between conventions. So Float is every 2 years, 26 and 28. Fulcrum will be 27 and 29, just like it was in 25 when it was held in St. Louis. But I did I did allude to this a couple of times now for the last couple of weeks, and I mean everything that I'm saying here. Fulcrum is moving. We are going to leave St. Louis and we are going to go to another city. I currently have our headhunter working on that for us now, and we will be announcing the location for Fulcrum at Float 2026. So hang tight for that. But if you have a panel discussion idea that you'd like us to talk about, we would love to hear about it. Keep in mind, we don't want to repeat the topics that were just covered at the last Fulcrum event because that's kind of redundant. So there's that. Also, I want to remind everybody, if you're watching this video, if you are someone who has an item or service to sell to other balloon people and you'd like to get in front of the biggest audience you possibly can, well, guess what? Float has sponsorships available for you. We've got decor sponsorships, we've got event sponsorships, we've got sponsored sessions available, we got t-shirt stuff. We still got one spot left on the t-shirt. We've got all kinds of things. Tote bags just came back online. So there's all kinds of things available. So there's that. Okay, LaDonna, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. But like I said, if I can remember, I'll drop you an email. And you can actually, if you don't mind helping me out too, if you could just drop me an email to Steve, STEVE, at floatconvention.com. If you want to drop me an email, I could just easily reply to that with the link for you. Okay. So there's that. Please make sure Fulcrum 2027 is before February 8th. Yes, because Miss Stephanie goes on cruises. We're all jealous. Yeah, I do. I know the dates, and they are before that. Yeah, they. I can't do it right now. I'm pulling it up, but I could look at the dates. I know it's not. It starts. The decor day will be the Monday after Martin Luther King Day. The problem, you don't want to schedule Fulcrum on Martin Luther King holiday because no hotel is going to give you discounted room rates on a holiday. They're just not. So we had to make sure it was after that. But it's the last full week of January of 2027. So there's that. Okay. That's a hard date. We're sending that date out to the hotels. So we're telling them, no, we don't want to hear from you if you don't have that available. If you don't make other suggestions, we don't care. So there's that. So there we go. However, I do want to share with everybody that we got ourselves a brand new vendor coming to Float. Very excited about this. And it was something that I had never thought about. I would like to take a moment to thank and welcome our new friends at Uniforms and More that are coming to Float 2026. This actually makes a lot of sense. They are going to be there with specialty footwear for people like us who are on their feet all damn day long. They provide specialty brands of footwear aimed at working professionals who are on their feet all the time. And I thought, wow, that is a fantastic idea. And for those of you that kept saying, oh, I really want booth F6. Oh, I really want booth F6. Hold booth F6 for me. It ain't available anymore because Uniforms and More got it. So folks, thank you very much. We're very excited about that. We're looking forward to having them. Their link will be uploaded onto the website very, very soon. So you can check that out. And we're very excited to have them joining us at Float 2026. And again, if you're one of those people that's got a service or a product that you'd like to sell to other balloon people and get in front of the biggest audience in the world, reach out to us because we still have booths available. There's still about 70-something booths left in the showcase. We are at 100 and I think we're at 106 booths gone now, which is the biggest footprint we've ever had. But we still have room to go. So we'd love to have you joining us if you'd like to be there. Okay, so there is that. Let's talk about Aloft. I don't have much to say about Aloft, unfortunately. For those of you that are aware, Aloft is our 24-hour streaming service. This week seems to be the week of empty promises. I hate to say this. So I don't have the class from September ready yet. mind you, I still have a couple days on a grace period to go on that because I have until October 10th. But unfortunately, again, as busy as we were last week, I never got a chance to do that. I also never got a chance to edit down the podcast episode, so that's not been uploaded yet either. I hope to have both, but the good news is we will be completely done with balloon work tomorrow, like jobs and stuff, by 9 a.m. I do have something I have to prep for Tuesday, but it's not like normal. So it is my hope that we can have both of these up and running for you this week. No problem at all. Also, empty promises. Our instructor for October has bailed. I cannot express how incredibly disappointed I am in this because this guy has been leading me along now for 3 months. He's not a balloon person. But it really pissed me off that he's an expert in this particular field. He agreed to take the subject matter. We've been going back and forth, blah, blah, blah. And then literally like, hey, I need a date, dude. He's like, yeah, I don't really feel like I'm qualified to teach this. Thanks, douche. So with that being said, I am currently in the works of trying to get us a teacher. So please bear with me. I hope to have the actual date and I hope to have the actual instructor announced for you by this time next week. So I do apologize for not having that for you in advance. All right, folks. So with that being said, it is time to get to what we like to refer to as the street level content here in the Floativerse. Let's talk about today's Step Chat survey. Today was a question. This is a question that I have been wanting to ask in all sincerity to the industry in general for a very long time. And I really would like to conduct this as a massive survey because I think it has I'll share this when I get to it here a little bit too. Let me get to the question, of course, was how do you best describe your relationship to your business versus your personal revenue? In other words, are you like me? Are you entirely financially dependent, you or your family, entirely dependent upon your balloon business and the money that you make from it? Are you mostly dependent on the balloon business money, but you've got another job or you've got other side hustles you're doing to make extra money to make ends meet? Do you work a job and do the balloon business and the job pays most of your bills? Are you exclusively full-time balloons, but you have a spouse that's bringing in considerable revenue, right? These are all questions that I've been wanting to get answers to. So today I decided to throw it out there and see what happened. And I'm going to tell you, I think some of these answers are skewed a little bit, if I'm going to be honest. Now, again, somebody brought up a really good point to me privately, and I agree with them 100%. And I even thought about this myself. The results may vary based upon whether or not this survey was anonymous or not, right? Because some people don't want to put out there. Some people like to talk a big talk, but at the end of the day, they have a job and they don't want to talk about it. So that's one thing. The number one that you can see here on the screen of the results that we did receive, my balloon business is my sole source of income, but I have a spouse who brings in another primary source of income larger than mine. That means at the end of the day, your revenue coming in for your business, while important, is you are not contingent upon it. Well, I guess that's not really fair either, because if your spouse doesn't make enough money for the entire household, then obviously you are contingent upon it. But that's, in other words, let me explain what I mean by this. There are a lot of people in the balloon industry that I won't take any job for less than $1,000. Or they'll sit there or they'll be overly critical of clients, or they'll be, I didn't want to deal with them. They're too much of a problem. They're too much of this. They're too much of that. This is clearly not the conversation that someone who is solely dependent upon their money would have. And that's kind of what I was getting at, right? That's kind of the point that I wanted to make. Now, I'm not suggesting that any of the people that answered this, that's what they act. That's not what I'm saying at all. And I don't even know who said it, so that's fine. I'm saying that when you go on Instagram and you see these, you see some of these balloon divas that are like, and I'm not even, again, I shouldn't even say that because there's a company, Balloon Divas, and I'm not even talking about them either. So that's not it. You see some of these folks that go out on Instagram and they talk about how I won't take a job for any less than this, or I want this and that. That's because they're probably not dependent upon the revenue coming in the door. That's my. I mean, is it a guarantee? No, but that's pretty safe to say. The second highest category is my balloon business is my sole source of income, and I survive on what I make. But here's the thing: I know a couple people in that answered yes in here have spouses. Now I know that one of them actually works for the company, so that's a different situation entirely. But I know some of these people have spouses. So does the spouse not work? I don't know. But I know for a fact that a couple people, those spouses have jobs. So I don't, that seems to be that would be in a different category. So there's that. Um, I also opted not to put an option like not listed option on this one because we've had a few people that if they don't pigeonhole exactly in any one thing, or they feel like they don't pigeonhole into one, then they create their own category when in fact they are part of an existing category. So I may, in all sincerity, I may stop making that as an option and kind of force people to pick one. Um, so yeah, so there's that. But so yeah, basically pretty much everybody was it's either their sole source of income or it's their only income that they make, but they have a spouse whose income they depend upon, like with their benefits and all that other stuff, which is right, which is and again, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Why would there be anything wrong with that? It's just the reality of doing business. I had somebody criticize me the other day. It's like, oh my God, you took a $300 job. I'm like, yeah, why the hell wouldn't I? Why would I not take a $300 job? Well, I just assumed you would have a higher minimum. Well, I need to eat. I didn't say I'm doing a $300 job and doing $500 worth of work. I'm doing a $300 job because that's what the bill came to. Hi, Murphy. So there's that. So I want to take this time to thank everybody for responding to the survey. Once again, I do want to remind everybody, and some of you may even be watching this replay right now. Float is on YouTube at youtube.com/@thefloativerse. So very excited about that. We would love it if you would subscribe if you're a YouTube user. Please like our posts. Please share them with other people that you might think that find them interesting. That would be very, very helpful to help us drive engagement. Also want to remind you of the Step Chat schedule. Obviously, we're doing the live broadcast right now here on Facebook. Tomorrow, the full episode will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. And then on Tuesday, no reason in the world why I shouldn't be able to have a summary episode ready to go for you on Tuesday. The summary episode is, of course, the abbreviated version. However, if the general episode is half an hour long or less, then there is no summary. There won't be a summary. Now, tonight's episode is already going at 45 minutes, which means there will be a summary episode posted on Tuesday. So there is that. I do want to remind everybody that this coming Tuesday is our special episode of Kicking Back with Lisa Mack International Style. Once a month, Lisa is kind enough to reschedule her show, which is like a virtual happy hour. She reschedules the show in the morning time and early afternoon so that folks from overseas can get on the call and it not be 3:00 in the morning their time. So this Tuesday, the show will be taking place at 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's 10 a.m. Eastern time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. I'm sorry, did I just say that wrong? 1 p.m. Pacific time. No, twice. 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Pacific time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. So the first hour of the show is broadcast live right here on the Facebook page. You can get the link by being a member of the Facebook group. Lisa posts the link there because that group is private. But of course, you can always reach out to Lisa too during the show and say, hey, I really want to be on the call. And then we can have you join us and everything else. Then after that, the show goes into what's called after party mode, which is where it's no longer broadcasting live. A lot of people don't even get on the call till then because they don't necessarily want themselves broadcast on Facebook, or they want to talk smack or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So there's that. So that'll be this coming Tuesday. Thank you once again to Lisa for hosting that. But you're not done with Lisa after that, folks, because on Wednesday of this week, the Working Wonders return for The Cost of Marketing. So join Ronnie, Lisa, Debbie, and Crystal this coming Wednesday, October 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. That show will also be broadcasting right here on the Float Facebook page. So tune in. It's like The View, except a hell of a lot nicer. There's that. And with that being said, everybody, that will do it for tonight's slideshow presentation. Thank you very much for that. So let's get to where we stop sharing the screen. Murphy, please stop driving me nuts. I love you, but you got to quit, dude. Okay, so let's get to a question that was aired during the broadcast I didn't get a chance to respond to yet. Denise Seymour, did you say they are discounting premium rooms? So when you click on the link for the hotels for Float, when you click on that link, it will take you to the standard room and then it takes you to premium suites. Those are discounted rates for the suites. They're not offering a different price point, if that makes any sense. Okay. So the price points that you see on the email blasts that are sent out, those are the discounted rates for the suites and the premium rooms. Okay. I hope that helped. Okay. There was another question, by the way, that was asked earlier that well, it wasn't asked on the call. It was asked of me privately, and I thought I would share it with everybody here tonight. Will flotation passes be going on sale? No. Again, flotation passes are a bulk discounted price for roughly $1,200 worth of, I think it's $1,300 worth of stuff. And the flotation pass is already marked down to $895. We're not going to put them on sale. They're already on sale. It's already a discounted price. So no, we're not going to be putting them discounted. Okay. I know that some of you, and I knew this was going to happen. I knew the moment we announced the price of the flotation passes, there'd be grumbling. But again, what people are forgetting is that this time around, the flotation passes come with even more stuff than it's ever come with before. 3 lunches and the Learn at Lunches sessions, the 30-minute flash classes are being offered in conjunction with the lunches. It includes the free corporate headshots this year. It includes 2 days of pre-enrollment to get your classes. It includes 2 reserved seats at the gala. There's a lot of stuff that you get. There's a lot of benefits for this. So is there sticker shock? Yeah. I knew there would be. I knew there would be once we determined what the price was going to be. But again, I'm going to argue all day long. It is still like 33% off the regular price of all that stuff. So there's that. Okay. So if anybody has any questions or comments or things they want to throw in the chat, by all means, please do. We'd be more than happy to address them for you. If not, dear God, maybe I actually get to go home and rest for a little bit. Yeah, my day started yesterday at 5 a.m. and I worked until almost midnight. I took some stuff home. I had to weave for the first time in a very, very, very long time, I had to make what I call party people. So when I lived in Cincinnati, I would make these balloon people all the time. I mean, weekly. And we call them party people. In fact, when I left Cincinnati and I moved, I taught that class at Float, and it was so funny because everybody in my class were all the Cincinnati people. But ever since I moved here, I can't sell them to save my life. People just don't. It's just certain things don't click in the same places, right? People think, oh, they look too childish. They look too whatever. Today, we sold 3 of them to Microsoft, 3 police officer sculptures. So I had a mural to make and all kinds of, and it was a very complicated mural. So I didn't want to go home without that being at least halfway done. So I was here till almost 9 o'clock working on that. And then I had to go home and weave a bunch of stuff for the hats for the officers. So I guess it wasn't midnight. It was probably closer to 11 by the time I was done. But then by the time you actually wind down and fall asleep, it's midnight. But then I was back up again at 3:34 because we had jobs this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's just like, ugh. But yeah. So, yeah. So there's that. So I'm very tired, ready to go home and crash out, get some rest. Come here, Murph. Come here. I was gonna switch him out tonight to his orange vest by popular demand, but I did not because I just didn't have time. Um, Hello, Murphy. You look like you could use a bath. Murphy, everybody, Murphy. Look at that face. Look at that face. He sees him. For the first time, you actually stopped and look at yourself. You did. It was like, see if you actually get some hearts. I don't know. Maybe your impact is wearing off. You're not getting all the hearts and love like you used to get, dude. Hmm, okay. There's a few, but I prompted those, so don't count. So there you go. Yeah, it was very interesting too because he met my parents for the first time a couple weeks ago, and tonight when I did my Zoom call with my mom and dad before I came out here, um, they were calling to him, and he's like this, like they would normally call to him when he's on the call, but now he knows their voices and stuff, so it was really funny. Is that so? Yep, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna give it one more minute here and see if we have anything. Let's see what we have going on here. LaDonna, he comes to Float. No, he does not join us at Float. He will not be joining us at Float. The hotel, technically, he's not a service animal. They do allow service animals at the hotel, and of course, they're also one of those people that don't. They have a policy of no pets, but they don't enforce it. But this guy, anybody that's ever met Murphy will tell you flat out, he's extremely needy. Um, I am way too busy at the convention to pay attention. And even though I could probably have signups for people to babysit him for here, take 30 minutes and play with Murphy or whatever, I could probably book it all day long. It's too much. So but I actually do. I have to start coordinating that. I have to start coordinating your babysitter while I'm gone. So there's that. So yeah. So there we go. No, unfortunately, he will not be coming to Float. There might be a time down the road when he is older and more tranquil, but he'll go into conniption fits and everything. Roseanne, here we go. I missed last week. Did anything get announced about the floaty entries? No, not yet. We'll be talking about floaty stuff later this month. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. I've not done the October calendar yet, and I do apologize. And again, part of this is because I've been ridiculously goddamn busy. So the October calendar will get posted tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow, if not tomorrow, it'll get posted on. It'll get posted on Tuesday. Either way, and we will schedule. We'll have the step chat episode scheduled, but we got to get all the stuff to the competition people to review it. So there's that. That's part of the reason too. There's that. Natasha, bring Murphy to me. I'll babysit him while you're at Float. I don't know why you keep saying that because you're going to be at Float. See, don't even think. Don't even try to play me, bestie. I know. There we go. So there's that. Yeah, the truth is he's never been on a flight yet. And to be honest, I really wondered if now that my parents have met him, when I was talking, I'm thinking there's a possibility I may go home for Thanksgiving. I was half wondering if they were going to let me bring him this time, because last time I asked if it was possible, and they were like, absolutely not. They don't want pets in the house. But now that they've met him, I wondered if they were going to like change their tune, but no, they did not. So they were very excited to know that I found somebody to babysit him while I was gone. So there's that. So yeah. Okay, well, folks, I guess that'll do it. Well, no, technically I did get a question, so I can wait and see if there's another one that pops up, whatever. But yeah, the floaties and stuff will be coming soon. For those of you that don't know, the Floaty Awards are a photo submission contest that we do, and we give away prizes to the best entry in each category. This year there are 33 categories, and we'll go over all that stuff again soon. And that's all got to get updated on the website anyway. So I have so much crap to do. I really do. Oh, there is one more thing I want to talk about though that I didn't bring up earlier. That I said I'll allude to it later. For those of you that are registered for Float, please get. You can start saving me some grief if you'd really like to. Send me your headshot. We are putting headshots on badges this year because we know that there's going to be a tremendous amount of new people coming. Um, in an effort to avoid bootlegging and borrowing badges and scanning badges and all that other stuff, we are putting your face on your badge. So if you have a headshot, we would love it if you would send it. For some of you, if you're a teacher or whatever, like Tabitha, hi Tabitha, good to see you. Um, if you're one of those people we already have the headshot, that's not a problem. But if we don't have your headshot, we're going to need it to make your badge. So we'll need that sooner than later. Okay. So just start thinking about that. And again, you can just drop it to me in an email or whatever. Um, what we're trying to avoid is we are trying to avoid the panic rush that will undoubtedly happen. Because we know what'll happen if we say we got to have your badge by this time, we're going to get or your picture by this date. We're going to get if we have 600 pictures coming, we're going to get 500 of them on that date. And the whole point is to try to get them ahead of time so that we can get because we're going to have to start printing badges like this week with this in mind, right? So there's that. Tabitha Miller, I love that idea. Yeah, I do too. It's hey, I didn't do it. You did it. You're the one that did it. He threw his ball to where he can't get it now, and he's mad. So he's there. You go. See, go get it. He can get wuss. Get in there. There you go. So and he's got it. So there you go. So there we have it. So yeah, if you're watching this right now and you are coming to Float and you're like, you could send me your headshot. You can send it through Facebook. You can send it through my email. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay, that would be very helpful. It would get me started on the process sooner than later. So, yay! Thank you. Yes. Okay. Jody Porter would be so, or Jody Potter would be so happy to know how much you enjoy that ball. Okay, folks, with that being said, I think it's safe to say we are good to go. So thank you all very much for joining me once again. I can't say this enough, how much I appreciate the fact that you will take time out of your lives to spend it with me every week. Thank you very much for being here. I really, really mean it. It means I actually do look forward to these shows every week. So I really appreciate the fact that many of you take the time to actually tune in and join me live and interact and all that fun stuff. So thank you. I really appreciate you. We will see you all very, very soon. So in the meantime, stay busy or stay chill. But whatever you do, stay profitable. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care.